Hello. You gonna say hello? They see you. They know that you're there. Come here. Bella won't leave. So Bella's going to stay. I have been promising a lot of people that I would be starting a video blog. Most people have been demanding that it be about makeup, and I swear I will start one soon. I promise. But I have to kind of be inspired by something specific. And not that I'm not inspired by makeup. Obviously, it's what I love to do. But the topic that actually made me decide to want to start this video blog finally is something that I feel like a lot of my friends, my family, people that I do work with every single day, are really affected by. And I don't think some of them even realize it. I know for me, it was a big slap in the face. This is the second time now, actually, in my life, and I didn't go through with the corrective steps the first time. So, to get to the point of what I'm talking about and start this entire thing, I am going to talk to you guys about something that I feel like affects everyone, but specifically people that I know in my line of work. People that work in fashion, production, photography, media, events, promotions, marketing, that very fast-paced, very stressful, very chaotic lifestyle. And I think that for a lot of us, that kind of becomes this like identity. Sorry, make sure this light doesn't go. It becomes this identity for a lot of us, and it becomes really hard to separate. Like if someone was to ask a lot of the people that I know to write down on a piece of paper about themselves, they would say, write your name at the top and say something about yourself. They would immediately start off with, my name is so-and-so, and I'm a photographer. My name is so-and-so, and I am this. And I think that's something that has started to really affect my life. And a lot of other people that I noticed, and whether they realize it or not is not something that I can make a determination on, but it becomes where people are assuming the identity of what they do as opposed to the identity of who they are. Actually made some little notes here because it's really like kind of running all over the place. Yeah, people are more assuming the identity of I am this instead of I am doing this. And so what they do becomes this attached self. I started reading a book. I actually started reading it the end of last year, and I was in the middle of moving. Again, chaotic, busy, everything is, I feel like there's always an excuse for people in my line of work. Even when it's genuine, it's still an excuse. And, oh, I'm super busy. Oh, I got this. Oh, I got that. And the fact is that I didn't make enough time for it. I didn't make it a priority, and so it didn't help me the way that it was supposed to. But I started reading a book, and it is actually a book that is written by the father of a dear friend of mine who I met. I don't know if this comes out backwards on there or not, but even if it is backwards, I'm sure most of you can see that it says Zen right here. And it is by Randy Noel, who is the father of a very good friend of mine, Chloe, and I met her on set actually. And we had like an instant connection, mainly because of the fact that we both work in that industry, we both are in that line of work, and we understand the busy and the chaos and the stress. But both of us have this core that I think when two people are made up of a similar core like that, they recognize it very quickly in one another. But we both had a more, how do I put this? I don't want to say Zen because that is taking away from the definition, but a more centered core. Yes, we're busy, and yes, we're stressed, and yes, we're this and we're that, but I'm sorry, that is what we're being, but that is not who we are. And so she and I got to talking about her family and what her father practiced and worked in. And one of the things that we talked about a lot was meditation. So I started reading this book, and sorry if it is backwards, but you okay? Are you stressed out? This is your first movie? You scared? That's okay. You look really good. So it is called Zen, and it is Meditation and Wisdom for a Better Life, a gift to busy people regardless of religion. And I think that the video that I'm doing today is actually going to be a series of my adaptation of a gift to busy people. I'm going to take a couple different works, one including this, some online research, some other books that I have read in the past, and kind of hopefully by not being afraid to air my dirty laundry, so to speak, emotionally, and by not being afraid to recognize and highlight the fact that I, like everyone else on this planet, have certain emotional issues that need to be addressed on an ongoing basis. I hope that I can help other people recognize that in themselves, and that they too are inspired to make those changes. When we are born, what I'm going to say now is coming a lot from this book. So some of it's my words, some of it's words from Randy. I in no way mean to take his words, but some of it I feel like I can relate to my peers a little bit better. So I'm going to try to do that. When we are born, we are ourselves at our purest form. It's always been like a spiritual belief of mine that, as crazy as it might sound, I think that when we are born, we actually know a lot of the things that we are going to know later in life. And as we grow up, we develop the communication skills to be able to share those knowledges and those ideas. But I think that as a brain, as a being, as a soul, I think that we are born and we're pretty smart. we just can't share a lot of it yet. And part of my basis for making that decision is if you were to, ask a child for their opinion on something, they're not going to hesitate. They're not going to stop and be like, okay, so wait, let me make sure I say this way, or you're going to get the truth, whether it is pretty, whether it's ugly, whether it hurts, whether it just makes you want to kiss them. And so when we are born in that original state of being, that is our most, our purest form of me, of who we are. Part of the reason for that is because we have not developed what's called conditioned thinking yet. We have not been exposed to certain bias ideas, to certain prejudices. When we were born, we don't know racism, we don't know homophobia, we don't know jealousy, we don't know rage. They're not natural things in the original state of me. Those are all conditioned things. Those are things that through our upbringing that we are taught, and that we learn to believe and learn our acceptable behaviors. So part of what Zen meditation teaches you is that a lot of the chaos and the confusion in your adult life is actually brought on by you, and you cling to it as you assume these thoughts and you take on these behaviors. They begin to shape this identity of who you are. So, going back to what I was originally saying, you are a makeup artist, you are a photographer, you are a producer, and that becomes, to most people, who they are instead of what they do. And so as we grow up and we continue taking experiences and joys and pain and new words and new sights and new sounds, we throw them in and we use this and we build this nest, and it develops this adopted identity. Sorry, I'm like looking at some of these things I wrote because I don't want to forget, and I don't want to misconstrue any of Randy's information because it was really good. but this is an adopted self that we take on, an identity. And in doing that, as we grow, we get so attached to this self that we feel the need to constantly defend it. Where we're not so much defending who we are, we're defending what we're doing as who we are. So we lose a lot of, not lose our morals, but we lose the focus on our morals. Who we are at our core and our moral structure becomes less and less identified with who we are, because we are associating daily actions and habits and likes and dislikes with who we are. As we develop this attachment to this character that we become as an adult. Basically, what Zen meditation does is it helps you to regain your mental control, your mental clarity over an absolute truth or an actual reality as opposed to your perceived reality. Let me explain this to you a little better, in the sense that if someone was to walk by you that you know and you haven't seen in a long time, you say, "Oh, hey," and they don't answer you. They don't look at you, they don't wave back, they don't even acknowledge you. Most people, their natural reaction is to be like, "Oh my God, what a bitch. Like, who does she think she is?" And so forth and so on. That is your conditioned thinking. That is you egotistically attaching to the you that you have created. Subconsciously, what you are thinking is, don't they even know who I am? Like, hello, like I just said hi. Whether you realize that you're thinking it that way or not, you are. What the original state of me would have said, what a 5-year-old would have said, what a 3-year-old would have said is, or what they would have done is, they would have kept waving. They would have chased them down and been like, "Hey, don't you see me? Hello," because their mindset is not conditioned to the fear of rejection of what if that person doesn't remember me. That the original me is not conditioned to the bias of, "Oh, she must just hate me," to the mental prejudice of, "Oh, they're probably jealous of me," or somebody probably told them something bad and so they're not talking to me. Those are not absolute truths. And I'm learning every single day in everything that I do, from the way that I go about my business to the way that I am developing my personal relationships, that it is a huge problem. And I don't think there's any way that most people can realize it unless they really listen to the kind of things that I'm giving as examples, and stop and really think about the things that they could be doing like that. Just like, I'm sorry if I'm saying a lot. I'm kind of looking at these notes and I'm kind of trying to keep on my own train of thought. But the basic function of the Zen meditation is to take us back as adults to this origin of thinking, to this original, unconditioned, unbiased, untrained thought process, this uncollaborated shell of identity that we have created, and really allow us to see things for what they are. If your friends hurt you, it allows you to see not that your friend is a backstabbing skank, not that that your boss is just such a jerk who just doesn't like anybody, not that your professor loves everyone in the class and just hates you. It's bringing you to a perceptive reality shattering, where the only reality that you can know and that you can identify with is an actual reality instead of your conditioned thought process. And it helps you to form stronger relationships with people by only knowing and understanding the things that you truly know and understand. You don't understand what's gone on in that person's head all day before the moment that you interacted with them. All you know, 100%, what is your absolute truth in that situation, is what happened between you and that person since the minute that you came into contact with each other that day. And this is the whole purpose of the kind of journey that I'm working on taking right now. So for anyone who is familiar with meditation, you may be familiar with Zen meditation, you may be familiar with other forms of meditation. First of all, let me explain to you that not all meditation is like lotus position, like, you know, that's not what we're going for here. The point of Zen meditation is to allow real life people in real life situations to take an experience such as this and not have the unrealistic expectation. Well, you know, I mean, I can't turn all the lights off in my house and light candles and sit on a pillow and balance myself and, you know, until the stars seem to align. Zen meditation is a practical, logical practice that turns everyday communications into ahas, into really enlightening conversations and interactions, because you are finally able to see things for exactly as they are, instead of exactly how you just are sure they absolutely must be, whether that person tells you or not. I personally, like I said, I started reading this book about a year ago, maybe a little less than that, and I knew right off the bat that I got about 3/4 of the way through before I like lost track of it, and I knew right off the bat that, you know, my spirituality and the way that I like to organize my thoughts was really in line with this practice. And that's the good thing about it, is that it's not a religion. It is not religiously sanctioned. It is not speaking to a higher power. It is not asking God to make things better for you. It is for anyone with any religion or with no religion. Those are the wonderful words of Randy, not me. But it speaks solely to the core of the person, not a religion, not an upbringing. This is way before any of that. As a child, fresh, you know, your first words and walking around, you are not, your family may be, but you have not adopted, accepted, or learned Christianity or Judaism or, you know, Buddhism or any of those things. So this is way before religion in your life. This is way before, you know, any of those structured beliefs. This is the core of a person. And I think that's what is going to make it easy for a lot of people to really, if you want to change your life. I think that we get so caught up in this posting inspirational videos and posting inspirational quotes and, you know, the grass is always greener where you water it. Okay, Big Sean or Bieber, whoever said that. That's great. The point is that, you know, people are reposting and retweeting and Instagramming these things day in and day out, and they sound great and they look good and, you know, whatever the case may be. But you post it and you scroll past it and it's gone. Did it change your life? Did you stop and like turn the radio off and go, you know what? Like, Big Sean was right. I gotta. No, you don't. You don't. You hear it and it might sound really cool and you might re-quote it later and then it's gone. And the thing about that is that you have got to want to change something in your life. You have got to want to come about the ability to not only understand people better, but to be understood better. One of the things that Randy, you know, mentions in the book is that people have come to him. He is a teacher of Zen meditation, and while I do not by any means intend to teach you the art of Zen meditation, I do hope to expose you to the ideas that it represents and to hopefully make you less intimidated to try something that some people may see as silly or, too self-helpish. This has always been like a secret, like little nerdy area of mine that I love, is, self-enlightenment and, kind of looking inside of yourself for things that other people search for externally their entire lives. But one of the things that he mentions in the book is that people come to him to learn Zen for all different reasons. Some people want their job to take on a better success path. Some people want stronger personal relationships. Some people are just ridiculously depressed, and they see themselves as the root of the problem. And it doesn't matter what your reason is. It doesn't matter when you realized it, or how old you are, how young you are, what you do for work, whether you have the busiest schedule on earth, or whether you have tons of free time and it makes it even worse. You can make the same amount of positive impact in your life no matter what.